Ocarina of Time came out in 1998. In many eyes, the greatest game of all time with an undeniably genius soundtrack. Just thought I'd quickly mention that before I announce that my pick for 98 is from Bomberman Hero and is called Redial. No, seriously. And it's not a case of personal nostalgia. I've barely even ever played this game. But the Bomberman games on N64, particularly Hero and Second Attack, sorta just sounded like nothing before it in gaming. They sound like Electronic Legends Square Pusher was trying to do a Sonic the Hedgehog homage. The drum and bass beats work so well with the synth and bass that I'm convinced this OST could easily have just been a hit album of its own in 98. Yes, Gerudo Valley is a great song, but have a listen to this and tell me it's also not the bomb. Ugh. For 1999, my pick is Liberty Fatale from Final Fantasy VIII. Initially, I had reserved this spot for Scars of Time from Chrono Cross, the divisive but classic sequel to Chrono Trigger that's recently been remastered. Then I realized that came out in '99 in Japan but didn't hit stateside until 2000. Therefore, I've got to give it to Uematsu once again for his intense opening theme from the 8th installment of the classic FF series. Complete with a choir singing in Latin, this tune really packs a punch. Funny enough though, some of the Latin is actually gibberish, actually comprised of anagrams hinting at the game's eventual themes. To me, this piece seems heavily influenced by O Fortuna from Carl Orff's classic Carmina Burana, an incredible piece of 19th century music. It also feels forever linked, at least in my memory, to another 1999 piece that owes much to O Fortuna, John Williams' Duel of the Fates. Have a listen to Liberty Fatale now. The year 2000. The year The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask released for the N64. We were supposed to have flying cars, jetpacks, and hoverboards, but half of us were still on dial-up and using the Dewey Decimal System. And now that 2000 is decades in the rear view, it's a distant memory to most, and a year before birth to many. Time is a funny thing, isn't it? It seems to speed up and slow down at will. Sometimes it almost seems like it stops. Sometimes it feels like it skips ahead, like there was a gap you must have jumped across to keep going forward, but you don't remember it. You can lose track of time, but time will never lose track of you. There are over 8 million species here on Earth, but only one of them keeps track of time. It's the same one who created Majora's Mask, the game that divides our list nearly down the middle in terms of years. The past on one side, the future on the other, and right in the middle, a sliver of a moment that we've decided to call now. Another just incredible honorable mention that probably should have won Song of the Year in any other year is Sweet Soul Brother from Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio by Hideki Naganuma off the legendary soundtrack for this game. Naganuma's work on the Jet Set series was renowned around the world upon release and is still regarded just as highly today in insert current year. Sorry, I'm just confident no matter when you're watching this, it's still banging in someone's car, hopefully with the windows open during a hot summer day drive. Inspired by funk, hip-hop, electro, pop, and rock, Sweet Soul Brother and the rest of the soundtrack are a hodgepodge mix of styles that almost sound like they could be on a 90s album by pop pioneer Beck.
Sweet soul, brother, sweet soul.
Halo's theme has to take top honors for 2001. It's a shorter piece, clocking in at about 3 minutes, but feels in no rush to establish itself either. Taking the first 36 seconds or so to set the mood using an all-male choir and some low-end synth, we are then introduced to a percussion section, almost subdued at first, but quickly joined by a very rhythmic string accompaniment, both of which start to build up before some intermittent sections when the strings really get a chance to shine, only to be led back into the choir as the drums fade and we're left with only deep droning chords and chanting, unnerving voices that would feel right at home in any funeral setting. Halo's theme helps mark a decided step forward for all video game music, into the musical territory usually occupied by Hollywood blockbusters, a step back from the catchy and the melodic, and instead, a step forward towards scale and atmosphere. Perhaps one of the most simple songs on this list, Kairi's theme from the original Kingdom Hearts, has been reorchestrated so many times throughout the series that its melody lends itself to just about any instrumentation now, partly in thanks to the delicate balance of the basic and beautiful that this song possesses. Really comprised of just a few forlorn-sounding chords, grounding a very direct melody that repeats the majority of its notes across various harmonic permutations. That's a long-winded way to say there's some pedal points going on here that provide color via repetition and recontextualization. Kairi's theme might not rewrite the book, but it certainly adds another page to this chapter of great gaming music history. Combining a range of different genres, instrumentation, and worldly influences, Oninage from Tenchu Wrath of Heaven launches straight into its intro, alternating between guitar, drums, synths, and zither-like strings. Additional layers of guitars keep things even more interesting, contrasting between the classical flamenco-style lead and the distorted metallic power chords found in the rhythm. After a short synth section, things really amp up in intensity and take on an even more decidedly Eastern feel. Droning notes and heavily reverberated laden cymbals fade us out, putting restrained punctuation on a track that's been able to say so much in such a short 3-minute runtime. Webster's dictionary defines homage as, you know what, never mind. It's pretty obvious to any film buff that the Snake Eater theme from Metal Gear Solid 3 really wears its inspiration on its sleeve, and I for one respect that. Good artists borrow, but great artists steal, and it's pretty clear Solid Snake's third adventure opens up similarly to a James Bond film. Opening with the timpani and horn section to set the mood, we then get a jazzy drum beat and the classic palm-muted Secret Agent style guitar riff, before moving into even funkier territory, complete with wah pedal-laden shaft theme-esque rhythm guitar. Cynthia Harrell's vocals soar high on top of this track, matching Billie Eilish, Tina Turner, Shirley Bassey, or any other legend who lent their voices to Bond's several dozen theme songs. Things capitulate into what's probably some kind of 7th flat 5 chord, ending with a burst of suspense, fit for a spy thriller of top quality. the kind of quality Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater exudes.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Well, musically, we're actually still in Bond's neck of the woods a bit here for me. Though, to say this track is trying to sound 007-like would be an oversimplification for sure. It starts with a single piano chord on top of a swinging, jazzy drum beat, before that secret agent guitar makes itself known again. It's a track that'd feel right at home in an old Pink Panther movie, that's for sure, and it fits the underground theme of the game very well. Additional instruments will enter in the form of strings, horns, and vibraphones, up until about 2 minutes into the track when the real star shows up, the harmonica. Bet you didn't think a harmonica would help elevate a video game song to be the best of the year. Or maybe you did if you played Psychonauts. Here's Stay Out of the Moonlight. Let me know what you think in the comments below.